adding and subtracting radical functions. So here's our expression, negative 10 plus root 50 over 5. So we need to simplify this, write this as the simplest form that we can. And in order to do that, we're going to work with this root 50. We're going to break it into primes again. So we want to try to break it as far down as possible and then kind of work our way up eliminating things. We could potentially not break it into primes, but if you always break it into primes and work your way up, it'll pretty much always work for you, okay? So we just need to think of factors of 50. So probably the simplest ones are 5 and 10. And I'm going to write them as roots so that we remember that the roots are still on top of them, okay? I can't do anything else with 5, but I can break 10 into 2 more factors, into root 5 and into root 2, okay? So the numbers that equate to root 50 are root 5 times root 5 times root 2. So we're going to replace root 50 with 1, 2, 3 terms, okay? So we're now left with negative 10 plus root 5 times root 5 times root 2, and then all of that is still above the number 5. Now, because we have 2 roots that are the same, so we have root 5 times root 5, that actually just becomes the whole number 5. So we now have negative 10 plus 5 times root 2 over 5. Okay. So we want to get rid of our fraction now. This value on the bottom, this denominator of the number 5. 5 can go into, and because there's an addition sign separating them, think of them as like almost 2 separate terms. In order to do any reduction with the denominator on the bottom, we have to somehow get 5 into both terms. Well, I know that 5 goes into 5. They essentially cancel out and create the value of 1. And 5 goes into negative 10 also. If we divide negative 10 by 5, we're going to get negative 2. So that's essentially the process here. We're going to divide it into both of these terms. So we're going to divide 5 into the first one and the second one. So this becomes a 1, and this becomes a negative 2, and this 5 on the bottom disappears. So we're left with negative 2 plus 1 times root 2. Well, 1 times root 2, we don't really need to write that 1 in. We can just leave it as root 2, because 1 times anything is just what that term is. And the 5 on the bottom is gone, so we're left with negative 2 plus root 2. The key to this question, though, is breaking this into the prime numbers. And so break it down as far as possible as we can.